So finishing this corner and getting it ready for this house has moved its way up my priority list. So I got the supplies to do it. I grabbed a few things today. So I'm hoping to be able to start on it this weekend. It shouldn't take long. It's just a little corner of the layout here. I'm going to just go over the cement with drywall spackle. And I'm going to work it from there. So that'll be fun and interesting. I'm going to go up, over, down. I don't want to spoil the surprises. I grabbed some new stuff today. Now this is a casting that I've had. And it's a casting that I love. I think this is... So they build this as the Ford Galaxy 500. But I call it the Ford Custom out of habit. It's the same tooling that they use for the Ford Custom. But the problem is, this is mine. This is the one I got when it came out. This came in the last country road set that they put out. They stopped doing the country roads. This was in Series 15, which is the final release. And as you can see, well, as you can see here, the base was mounted, or it was spun offset. And it causes a massive issue with the way the car rolls and the way the car sits. So anyways, I found another one of these today at my local Hobby Lobby. Funny thing is, the new one does the same thing. It just does it to a much lesser degree. But it's a trade-off because this one has a couple of minor paint flaws. And this one doesn't. This other one is just gorgeous. But this is an awesome car. If you're into these old 70s, like really big boats, then this is a car you got to track down and get before it turns into a $20 car, which it will at some point. May take a few years, but at some point this is going to be one of those cars. So anyways, I'll just end up keeping both. This was the original that I got, number 217. And then the one I got today is number 3317. I was thinking when I got the new one today that I would take this one and take the wheels off of it, because these are prototypical wheels, but they're also generic enough that you could use them on other cars, because they're just spoke hubcaps. But they look incredible. They look really, really good. But I don't think I'm going to tear this car apart. I think I'm just going to keep both. And then just, they are what they are. So anyways, I found that, and then I found this. Hitch and Tow Series 12. I have all of them except one. That one I found today. So, not my last video, but the video before that, I showed, I think, 6 Greenlight civilian deco full-size pickups. This one here is hands down the nicest F-150, or at least my favorite F-150. The nicest is subjective, but it is my favorite non-lifted F-150 that they've put out. They've only released one lifted F-150 in civilian deco, and I have that one as well. That's actually probably my favorite F-150 that they've done. But this truck here is awesome. It's really, really nice looking. It has two-tone paint with the dark gray rocker panel. This lighting sucks. It's not doing it any justice. It really is a nice color. The wheels on this they look great. They are a different wheel than on the other truck that I showed. I think that truck was a 2016 also, which this one is a 2016. So anyways, really, really, really nice Ford F-150. It's a great truck. The trailer is equally as awesome. This trailer is one of the nicest trailers Greenlight has done for a number of reasons. Whoa. Number one, you've got articulating parts like it's a functioning dump bed. We've got a spare tire there. I mean, this thing is dope. I'm going to make a little pile of dirt. I'll show you guys how to do that if you want. Basically, you just put a little... You get a piece of wax paper. You build a little pile of dirt. You literally build a pile of dirt. Actually, what I would do is I'd probably mold it out of like clay or Play-Doh. Or even drywall compound. Just mold a little dirt pile. And then when it dries, paint it. And then dip it in like a matte Mod Podge, and then just sprinkle sand or dirt or a pile of whatever kind of dirt you want. This stuff here would work perfect. And then you'll have a little pile of dirt that's not messy. But anyways, this thing is awesome. This sidewall extender pops off. This part is plastic, but everything from here down is all die cast. The entire frame of the trailer, the entire bed. These doors, I think, are plastic as well. But most everything else is die cast. Another really cool feature about it, they really didn't have to do, but they went the extra mile and did it. It has retractable ramps. So if you have, a scale John Deere lawnmower or a Rhino or a quad or something like that, you can drive it on up into the trailer. Or if you're hauling rock and you have a little Bobcat, you can unload the trailer with the Bobcat. It's just a really, really, really nice, very well done little trailer. One of my favorites that they've done. So I really dig that. And that whole series, Series 12, was awesome with the trailers. This trailer also came out in Series 12. This thing is all die cast except for the sides. It is extremely heavy. Like, you look at this and it looks plastic. You think, that's a plastic hunk of junk. But when you pick it up, it feels like a brick. It is very, very heavy. The only plastic on it, other than the two sides, is the back door. The top, the front, the base, all of that is all die cast. So that's an awesome trailer. That was the first time we saw that. It was also the first time we saw this Gooseneck, which is another really cool trailer from Greenlight. Like the dump trailer there, this one is also a dual axle. Also has a spare tire. I don't know if I pointed that out, but the spare tire on that is on the side, so really cool looking. And then the other one I didn't bring out for this video because no wow factor to it. It's just an old crappy F100 with the STP graphics. I do like the STP car hauler. I'm not a fan of the F100 casting unless it's lifted, but even those are having so many issues with production that it's really hard for me to get into that casting. But to me, the best thing about Hitch and Tow 12 is right here. These three trucks are some of the nicest full-size pickups that Greenlight has done. Ford, Chevy, and Dodge all represented. All very nice civilian decos. And that was basically a home run from Greenlight. You know, usually we're seeing crazy stuff like racing graphics or, you know, Petro sponsorships and stuff like that. And, you know, I would prefer for this right here to be the norm and for all the funny stuff to be the exception. But instead, this right here is the exception. So when they do put out a really nice late model civilian deco casting, whether it's a car or a truck, I do try to grab those. And I will have a video probably early to mid-week this upcoming week talking about late model civilian deco Greenlight. But anyways, I like this release. I think this is this might be the best hitch and tow, non-exclusive hitch and tow release. You go all the way back to Series 1. Series 12 is probably the best release because you get a car hauler, you get an articulating dump bed, you get a really nice flatbed trailer with a gooseneck, and then you get the display car hauler. So anyways, that's Greenlight Hitch and Tow 12. I did end up getting a couple other things. I already cracked this, but this is a 2018 hobby exclusive Greenlight. This is the third time that we've seen this casting. It is coming out again in the next hobby shop release, but anyways, without further ado, 1983 GMC Vandura. This one is in your basic white deco. So my favorite release of this is definitely the Howlin' Wolf. I know everybody loves the A-Team van, and I like it too. That's one of the very few Greenlight castings that I have two of. One loose and one on card. But I like the Howlin' Wolf deco better. I just think it's very unique and it's very cool. And it's kind of got that retro boogie 1970s vibe to it. But I also like the white one here, which just really just has a basic like utilitarian look to it, you know, like, you know, this is a guy who owns his own painting business or something like that. So I like that aspect of it. Kind of reminds me of the from Country Roads, that white F-150 with the ladder rack. Just a real basic utility truck, probably used for small business. This van right here, to me, you know, a lot of vans have that that creeper, you know, child stalker vibe to them. I don't get that from this one at all. I really don't get that from any diecast vans, to be honest. But, you know, vans were so popular back in the 70s and 80s, even into the 90s. Although in the 90s, the minivan kind of took over. And then in the 2000s, the SUV took over. But, you know, they were so popular back then. They were all over the roads. And now there's like somewhat of a stigma attached to full-size conversion vans. Just kind of funny. You really don't see a lot of them on the road, so. But Greenlight smashed it with this one, though. This is such a great casting. This is not the same tooling as the G20. It's not even a retooling of that van. It's a completely new tooling. There's very little similarity between the two. This is a much wider casting. It's longer. It has a very different wheelbase. The base is, you'd see the size of this base. The running boards are part of the base, and they are metal. It's not an extra trim piece that's going to fall off like it would if it was M2. So, very, very cool. A lot of awesome detail here. There's your back end. But I think, as awesome as this thing is, I think my favorite part of this van is these wheels. I really hope we start seeing these wheels on some other castings. They would look really good on an old Stingray Vet, or what else would they look good on? Maybe a Ford Bronco. They'd probably look pretty good on a Bronco. I don't know. I like them. I like it. I like this casting. It's a good one. All right. The last casting of the day. I paid $8 for this on the secondary market, which is pretty amazing considering these are selling for about $30 right now. It's ridiculous to me that these are selling for that much. They're not that limited. They're no more limited than any other Johnny Lightning casting. But I was hoping for red, but unfortunately got white. You can see it has the weird stance issue that comes standard with 90% of Johnny Lightning castings. I find it always seems to be the castings that have plastic tires that have really weird stances. With that gap in that rear axle, it makes this thing look like it has rake. It's a bummer because it's a nice casting, but I will say this. I know a lot of people are going all fanboy over these cars. This thing is massive. It's nowhere near 1:64 scale. It's got to be at least 1:55. So that's something that kind of puzzles me with Johnny Lightning, because usually their stuff runs small. But this car is just huge. I mean, it's massive. It does have nice detail though. This is the only time I think we've ever seen this Honda Civic Crx replicated in 1:64 scale. Johnny Lightning is the only company to do this generation. TLV did the first and second gen. So if I'm not mistaken, this one here is a third gen, but I could be wrong. It is a cool casting though. I like it. It's so big, and I wish it had rubber tires. Round 2 has got to stop. They need to just throw away all the plastic tires and just stop doing it. Just stop doing it. You're charging $6 for these cars. The very least you can do is put rubber tires on them. If you're not going to get the scale right, or you're not going to get the stance right, at least give us rubber tires. Either that or cut the price, charge $2.99 or $3.99 instead of $5.99. You can get a Hot Wheels CRX with plastic tires for $1. But that casting sucks compared to this one. The funny thing though, this is actually probably bigger than the Hot Wheels. I should have got it out to compare it. Because I know when I tell you guys that this is a massive casting, a lot of you guys are like, no, it's not. That's 1/64. Well, no, it's not. This is at least 1/55, and I'll show you. This one here, granted, it's a first gen, so it's a different body style. So the body style changed, but the size of the body really didn't change. There were like subtle differences. But this one here, as this was seen in my last video, this is true 1/64 scale. Tomica Limited Vintage is probably the most scale accurate manufacturer out there, even more so than Auto World. So this is a true 1/64 scale Honda CRX. And look at the Johnny Lightning behind it. It just dwarfs it. So yeah, that is for sure at least a 1/55, 1/57, somewhere in that range. There's no way that's even 1/60. But it's okay, because this right here is a car that nobody else has ever done in 1/64 scale. So, don't have much choice, do we? Whoa. Sorry for shaky camera. I did get the table cleared off a little bit. But I did that because I do plan on working on it tomorrow. Well, tomorrow or Sunday. I got a lot of stuff done tonight, which is why I didn't go to the diecast club meet. You know, the last few weeks there just hasn't been anything there. The only person that ever has anything that I want is the person I got this from. And I just go to their house whenever they have something that I want. So, not a big deal. Anyway, so that is my Friday haul. A really nice Ford Galaxy. A really nice Honda CRX. Really nice Vandura. And a really, really nice Hitch and Tow. I love that truck. All three of those trucks from that Series 12, all three of them are must-haves. So, all right. Well, thank you for watching, everybody. You all have a great weekend. Happy hunting. And I will holler at you at the next video.